In today's video, we continue our search for Stargrave crew members as we unbox an Infinity Operation Red Veil Battle Pack from 2016. Well, hi folks, this is Lee from skirmishwargames.com. Welcome to the channel. I'm here with Lynn.
Hello everyone.
And today, I guess, is our third installment of our Countdown to Stargrave series, where we look at some older starter sets we've had languishing on the shelf to see if there's any minis or terrain we can pilfer for Stargrave, science fiction war games in the Ravaged Galaxy, which is due to be released in April 2021, so just a couple of months away. And we're also going to be looking into whether these starter sets that we've kind of left orphaned on the shelf are in fact games we should be playing, and if we just need to take the time to paint the minis and learn the rules. Yeah, we might procrastinate sometimes. Anyway, so far we've looked at Sedition Wars, Battle for Alabaster, which had some great space station game tiles in it that we're probably going to use. And we looked at Dead Zone from Mantic Games, which had Enforcers, Space Dwarves, Space Zombies, and Space Rats, all of which will probably make great additions to a game of Stargrave. And Lynn, I think you were seriously thinking about some Space Rats, right?
Definitely. Veermen all the way.
Today we're going to look at the Infinity Operation Red Veil Battle Pack, which I purchased in April 2017. I looked it up for $77. And then I probably left it on the shelf for the next 4 years. So Infinity is, of course, the Skirmish miniatures game from Corvus Belli out of Spain, if I'm pronouncing that right. And it's been around since about 2005 or so and is now in its 4th edition. And I believe that the company recently celebrated its 20th anniversary. So congratulations to Corvus on that. That's pretty cool. So while I've admired Infinity's Magna-inspired miniatures for quite some time, and I've been aware that the game has a really dedicated fan base, I didn't know too many specifics about it, other than a general sense that the rule set was probably quite a bit denser than we're used to. So in a nutshell, Infinity is set 175 years in the future. So players command small groups of elite soldiers, usually representing one of the various superpowers or other factions. And these teams are carefully assembled according to the objectives of each mission, so different battles might require different specialists to secure victory. So prior to opening this up, I wanted to do a little informal online research, and from what I've read about Infinity, guns are deadly, units can react to enemy actions, weaker units can threaten stronger ones, and the gameplay experience is one of constant nail-biting tension, according to one player. Here's a quote from Corvus Belli about the game. Infinity is a groundbreaking dynamic system that allows you to take meaningful, fun choices throughout the entire game sequence and gives you the tools to implement any number of strategies with realism and flexibility. Unquote. So there you go. Now, the Infinity rulebook is pretty thick, so that means a higher learning curve, of course, but also more layers to the game, and there's definitely a market for that. Some people really want a rule set that has a lot of meat to it. We, on the other hand, tend to gravitate toward lighter game systems, where I can keep most of the details in my head or on a single cheat sheet, and that's really more of a practical preference from our standpoint, because if we're hopping from game to game, the easier the game is to learn, the more quickly we can get to the video, as opposed to a system that has a lot of layers and nuance to it, but probably takes a lot of gameplay to master. So you can download the Infinity 4th edition rules for free on the Infinity website, as well as the rules for Infinity Code 1, which is apparently the streamlined introductory version of the game. And after scanning both of those rule sets, however, I think for me it would take quite a while to get a handle on either version. There's just simply a lot to it. Now, maybe that's an incorrect assumption on my part, so I'd like to open it up to the hive mind for discussion. So if you're an Infinity fan or have some insight into the game, please leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think. Maybe the learning curve really isn't an issue at all. Okay, so we look forward to reading your feedback on that, and now let's take a look at Infinity Operation Red Veil, the battle pack here, which, based on the box art, looks pretty amazing. Lynn, you ready to get your hands on this? I can see you wanted to open us up last time.
Yes, I did.
And yeah, so we've been waiting on this. So this box set contains 14 miniatures representing 2 different teams, the Yu Qing and the Hak Islam. And these could be loosely defined as being Far East and Middle East inspired factions extrapolated 2 centuries into the future. So I also understand that 2 of the minis in here are or were exclusive to this box set, but maybe they're not now. And I guess the minis in here are probably going to be pewter. And from the images I've seen, they're very sleek and dynamic. And also, we got a request from one of our viewers, and he asked, would we compare the minis to a more standard mini? So we're going to take this general rank and file Cadian here and size him up against these Infinity minis so you can get some sense of the scale. This battle pack also includes an introductory 80-page rulebook for Infinity 3rd edition. So Infinity is on its 4th edition now, as we mentioned earlier, but since we can download the rules for free, that doesn't really matter. So the contents of this box set should hopefully be useful with the current edition of Infinity. And in addition to our minis, it looks like we're also going to get in this box set a battle mat, some of this paper Infinity terrain, which Lynn, you've folded quite a bit of, along with 6 20-sided dice, some cardboard markers, templates, and a ruler. All right, so let's check it out. You ready to open this up and see all that good stuff?
Yes, more stuff for me to build.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, here's our full color Infinity rulebook. So here are the 2 factions we get in the starter set, the Hawk Islam and the Yu Qing. So this is kind of a Middle Eastern inspired faction, and this is a Far East inspired faction, but it looks like they don't stick to the usual tropes. So I guess the assumption is that over the course of the centuries, things will change and become more diverse. And so while there is a foundation from cultures that we might know today, things have changed over time. And so it's a little bit different. And so it has a very unique style. I won't spend too much time on the rule book because it's already obsolete, but as I said, the free PDF is available on the Infinity website. But I did want to show you these. These are some of the paper terrain and battle mats that Infinity sells. And these little sets are only about $20 a piece on Amazon, and we have 2 or 3 of them. Lynn, you built a bunch of this terrain.
During my building frenzy.
During the building frenzy. So yeah, these sets are really inexpensive. They're easy to assemble. They're not that durable, but the graphics are kind of cool. And if you don't mind folded cardboard terrain, it's a pretty easy way to create a shopping center or a outpost or all kinds of sci-fi scenery, which we can certainly use for Stargrave, in addition to Infinity or whatever game we're playing. So these are pretty cool. We built a couple of them. We'll show you some examples here toward the end of the video, and you can decide for yourself. But we like them.
They go together really quick.
They go together quick, and they're not expensive. All right, so that is the rule book. Let's gently dump this stuff out. Yeah, so this is the Neon Lotus scenery pack, and actually I already had one that I bought separately. So Lynn has already constructed a set of this terrain, so we'll show you this at the end of the video. Of course, the graphics on these are pretty neat. It kind of has a Blade Runner type vibe going on there. It's just a nice cardstock terrain. It folds together. You don't even need to use tape for the most part. Used a little tape on a couple things, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I can see using these in all kinds of sci-fi games, and if you don't mind using cardstock terrain, it's a nice inexpensive way to get some visuals on your game table. And we'll show you here toward the end of the video, but these smaller cubes can be used on ground level, or they can also fit on top of the buildings to create sort of a multi-level effect. So that is our Neon Lotus scenery pack, which we got separately and also comes in the starter set. And then you get a nice map here. We're estimating this map is about 2 by 3, so it's not quite going to fit right here. Okay, pardon the glare, please, because this is kind of a glossy paper. A little bit larger than a Kill Team mat, a little bit smaller than a 3 by 3 skirmish mat. And this mat is designed to work with the cardstock terrain that comes with the set. And if you decide you don't want to use this paper mat for wargaming, you can always flip it over.
And put the poster up in your game cave.
That's right. You can put the poster up in your game cave. And it's kind of neat because this game came out of Spain instead of England or the United States. So they have a little bit different artistic sensibility. So it's kind of unique and colorful in its own way and a little bit different than some of the other mainstream games that we may be used to. So good on them. Okay. 20-sided dice, So we have one set for the Hawk Islam and one set for the Yu Ching.
Slot of bases.
Slot of bases. So it looks like 25 millimeter bases.
And one big one.
And one big one. As Lynn pointed out to me, these little poly bags here have a complaint code right in there. So this is complaint code 0999 if you should need it. Let's hope that won't be the case. The photos of the Infinity Minis I've seen are pretty spectacular. So they're very dynamic. I think I mentioned they're kind of Magna inspired. And I understand these are pewter figures. So these should be pretty nice. So this must be the armored guy. So that is a big honkin' armored leg.
He's going to be big.
This guy's going to be big. His leg is as tall as Acadian.
Thus the big base.
Thus the big base, absolutely. So I'm going to assume that mini is our heavy assault regiment for the Hawk Islam. So that is Alpha Cid, the Corrupted. So this figure here is a little more in scale with Acadian. She's a little slimmer, as you can see. So she's not quite heroic scale. She doesn't have the enormous wrists and neck and things like that. So a little bit more in line with what a human might actually look like. But yeah, could fight with Acadian, no problem. They're not too far out of scale. It's going to be a little hard to tell what some of these guys are until you put them together. But I think you get a sense for maybe the style and the quality of the figures. And these do look like they're pewter. And they're pretty clean. They would clean up quite nicely.
I like his jacket.
Yeah, his flowing jacket. And then you have a little square peg there on his shoulder for the arms. So yeah, look at that. Just snaps right in. So a little glue and that guy would be in good shape. So after looking at the two factions from the box set, I think the bottom line is these are really high quality, well sculpted, well cast minis. And if someone had the skill to paint them in a vibrant Magna style, kind of like the box art, they would literally jump off the table. So yeah, really well done. So obviously, if you're interested in playing Infinity, this box set should give you everything you need to play the game. But if you were looking to play Stargrave with these guys,
You could probably make a pretty decent crew with those.
yeah, there's specialists and heavies and leaders and all of that. So just one of these factions would probably give you the foundation for a pretty good crew, but
You could also mix and match.
you could also mix and match. So with 14 minis, I'm sure there's at least one good crew in there. Okay, so these minis look really nice. We have 14 of them. Looks like there's at least a couple of heavies in there. And let's take a look at the terrain that you built and show people how that kind of fits together. We'll pretend this mat is actually the location of a shopping center, a sci-fi shopping center. Yeah, it's Acadian on shore leave here in the shopping district. So he's got some credits to spend. Yeah, so inexpensive, easy to put together, colorful. And if you don't mind working with cardstock terrain, then that's a pretty quick way of putting together a sci-fi shopping center on your tabletop. So Lynn, how long would you say it took you to put that set together? Just for an example.
5 to 10 minutes. They're pretty quick.
So yeah, 20 bucks, 5 to 10 minutes of assembly time. You might need a couple of pieces of tape, but other than that, it just folds together. And there you go. Not a half bad looking sci-fi shopping center. Well, I guess that's our quick look at the Infinity Operation Red Veil box set, which came out, I think, around 2016, that we picked up our copy in 2017. So I get the distinct impression after looking at the artwork and the terrain and the miniatures in this set that the publishers here wanted to create a universe that is neither grim nor dark. And Infinity is neither of those things. It's bright, it's vibrant, it's colorful, it's fluid. And so kudos to Corvus Belli for creating something kind of fresh and unique. Well, that's it for today's video, I think. When we see you again, we're going to take a quick detour and look at a host of MDF terrain kits that Lynn has built out. That's one advantage to the cold snap we've had, is she's done a lot of arts and crafts. So she cleaned me out of unbuilt MDF. And then after that, we're going to resume our search for Stargrave crew members, perhaps cracking into an old AT-43 Operation Damocles starter set. But until then, as always, thanks very much for stopping by. If you like the things we do here, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please give this video a big thumbs up. And of course, please visit us online at our website, skirmishwargames.com.